Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome
Blah.
to KT Mastermind Group. Your wish is your command.
CD11 we are discussing today.
Yep, CD11. And just a very quick recap. CD10 was all about making money. How to use these techniques on focusing on what you want with regards to money, your chief aim, and all the concepts around money. So CD11, this was a really good one for me, is how to handle disappointment, because it can happen during your journey, how to feel good when you feel bad or if someone has criticized you, how to stay motivated and focused on what you want. And this is very key because this has happened to us. What blocks us from using this technique? We'll talk about what this technique is. It's basically the technique that Katie's been talking about throughout all the CDs, but we'll recap on that. And also such a great story that Katie shares, the elephant story. And
My favorite.
Yeah, I love those.
My favorite story in the world, that is.
Yeah. So let's begin.
Shall we? Okay. So going into track 1 of CD11. So Katie goes on to say, you know, it's powerful to know that we create our own reality, right? That we can be, do, and have anything and everything we want, that we have this power. And when we know this, like when we know that anything, like any situation, any event or reoccurring event in our life that we find unpleasant can be changed. It can be changed by us. So it's good to know there's no such thing as a hopeless situation, right? And you can say things like, I'm going to do it, that's it, period. Okay, so that kind of ties in with when your attitude is right, the facts don't count. And success is really a decision away. And it's when you decide that enough is enough. Like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I refuse to accept the situation and I'm going to change this. And you can change your attitude and change your feeling. Therefore, you change your vibration. You create a new electromagnetic signature, goes out to the universe, and you attract circumstances, situation, people, and events.
And I think it's really, for me, what works is sometimes seeing examples of people who've done it and been in really bad situations. And I remember this story. This is from another book that I read, that this woman, her name was Anna, and her husband committed suicide. He jumped off a tall building. He left her and her children alone. And then she had a lot of course, grief, but also anger and resentment towards her husband, thinking, how could he have done this? You know, how could he have just said goodbye to his children and then just killed himself? And I think financially, she was left in a very bad situation. So she was in debt. She was a single mom. She had to work. All the stress and the anger and the resentment caused health issues in her body. So she had bad health as well. So everything was practically going wrong for her. When she hit her rock bottom, she changed, you know, she changed her thinking and feeling, and she worked on herself, and everything turned around, like everything. You know, she came out of debt. She met someone, you know, began a wonderful relationship. Everything worked for her. Health improved, you know.
Made a decision.
Yeah, she just made a decision that that's it. I'm going to have to change my thinking and feeling. If I continue to think and feel in this way, I'm going to continue to create the same kind of circumstances, events, situations, and people in my life that's going to keep reinforcing what I've been thinking and feeling all this time. So, and this
was she doing that consciously, you know?
She did it consciously, yeah. She did actually. It was Dr. Joe Dispenza, so she did his work. You know, she came across his work and then decided to change herself, you know, and through meditations, visualization meditations, and reprogramming herself, and she became
perfect picture.
Yeah, you know, so it's like just, you know, and this is just one of thousands and millions of stories out there of people changing their lives. So it just gives you that feeling like there's no, even when everything is collapsing around you, there's always a way. There is always a way, because we know this information. We know that we can change it. No matter
That's
what
a decision away.
Yes, success is a decision away.
So Katie goes to repeat the technique again.
What is this technique we're talking about?
Yeah, which is focus on what you want.
Well, define what you want
Define
first.
what you want.
Then focus on what you want with power and intensity. Feel good about it, and broadcast it consistently, and you'll attract more like-minded thoughts and situations and matching feelings to match that vibrational frequency. So that is basically the technique in a nutshell, if you really want to simplify it all.
I went back to listen to that, and it was I put on the group chat about lack is looking off the radar screen, and just know you're not going to know how there's going to be a way.
Exactly.
But if your intention frequency permeates everything, and goes through everything, that is more powerful than the physical.
Yeah.
So, and that you're literally then creating it.
Yeah, you're creating it, exactly.
Yeah,
and people often slip back into, oh, but how is it going to happen? Because everything's
It's easily done, isn't it?
It's easily done.
It's easily done.
We all do it, yeah. So it's just remembering this, you know, this work and what Katie's teaching. So remember, thoughts are things, right? So if thoughts are things, they carry a vibrational frequency, and the emotion and feeling that you give it gives it more power or fuel. And that's why to feel good about what you want and you feel good about it is so important, because that fuels it, that fuels everything.
Yeah. So if you have a bad event, you created it. If you don't like it, you can turn your back on it and clearly define what you do want. So the question to you guys is, can you recall any bad event that's occurred in your life in which you have actually used this mindset, this understanding and thinking, where you managed to turn your back on it and change the situation around for the good?
I've done it unconsciously when I was 19, but not I've done it loads of times consciously. The unconscious one was when I lost it took me 9 finals. When I was 16, I started trying to turn pro, and it took me till I was 23, and you only get 1 chance a year. And it was the 4th time I'd lost in a final of a world championship to turn professional. And I sat in the pouring rain with my cue, my waistcoat, with the rain in Sheffield. And I couldn't have been more low. And it was a moment where that's it. I can't do this anymore. And I went home. I know it sounds really stupid. I went home, I had a bath. I had a 2-hour bath, and I let the water run out, and I sat there for 3 hours till 5 o'clock in the morning. Unconsciously, what do you want? And I wanted to travel. I wanted to, because I'd spent all my life in a snooker club. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to grow. And 3 weeks later, I got to another final and I lost. I thought, oh, this just isn't happening. And that final, as it happens, opened about 20 doors. I went to Thailand, I went to Singapore, I went to Malaysia, I went to Egypt, I went to Dubai, I went to China, Japan. I went all around the world, met amazing people with about £10 in my pocket. But I managed, it was all paid for. And it was, I had that moment where I'd lost in a similar situation before, opened all those doors. And I sat there in the rain and in the bath a few hours later, where I was like, that's it. Wits end.
Wow,
so inspiring. Wow.
That was it. And I was sat there crying my eyes out. And I was like, because I didn't know what it was. And then I decided to put, I was so desperate and so mentally gone, basically, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I typed in the words "The Secret" on YouTube, and then I went through The Secret, I went through Jim Rohn, I went through Anthony Robbins, and then came to Jesus, which is Kevin Trudeau. And I started studying. Nice. And then a couple of years later, I, especially when COVID hit, I put it all into work, action, and happier than I've ever been.
Oh, that's a wonderful story, James.
Nice story.
Right, well, that's time. It was an hour-long story. Sorry about that.
Awesome.
You know, people do it with relationships as well. Like if they've been in a very bad relationship, it helps them to define what they do want.
Yeah.
So everything that you didn't like in that person, you change it and say, well, this is actually what I do want. And actually, I've done that, and you know, it was.
I've done that.
Yeah, when I look back, I think, God, I actually didn't really know what I wanted in a relationship.
Yeah,
until
I didn't actually know what I wanted.
Yeah, and then it's only then I realized, my gosh, now I know exactly what I want, because I know what I don't want.
Do you know, Meenal, you're saying that exactly the same thing. We're all really, I want to say advanced, just to put it easily, advanced with all this stuff, learning it, and we're always learning. And in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had some time at home, even just washing the car or doing the kitchen or just doing something really basic. I'm really, really enjoying. And I've listened to Joe extensively with Baroque classical music, really quiet, and writing things down and going, I think, oh my God, I forgot that. CD 4, 5, and 6, and I've listened to them thousands and thousands and thousands in my own times. What do you want? What do you want? Like, you know, because it's so easy to go, because growing up with my mum and my whole family with depression on antidepressants, it was always we haven't. So I don't know if that's a program, but it's so simple, isn't it? What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? It's so simple. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's so simple, it's difficult. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. So most people focus on the lack of what they want. So in other words, what they don't want. And you know this by how you feel. And I think Katie has explained this quite a few times, but it's important to remember it, you know, that your feeling is your guidance system. So that's why it's so important on feeling good, working on feeling good, to attract more feeling good thoughts, events, situations in your life to match that feeling. So what happens, a question to you, and you might even notice it in yourself, what happens with your posture when you're feeling really good? Yeah, Jamie did that. Yeah. Stand up straight.
Physiology changes.
Yeah, your physiology changes. Your
Bounce
head.
in your step.
Yeah, you've got a bounce in your step. Your head.
You
is
do
up
though, don't you? You
high.
genuinely do. You do. Like
Yeah, it
everything's
really does.
easier.
And your body just flows with this energy and this power and this confidence. You know, you just feel it in your body. And I'm sure we've all experienced this when we're feeling really good. It just changes the way you actually carry yourself.
Yeah.
So when you feel bad, it's the opposite. You know, your shoulders are more hunched,
Loud.
you're kind of dragging your feet, you have less energy. Yeah, you feel quite heavy.
Yeah.
I actually, for me, I notice my breathing as well, because my breathing is much more shallow. Whereas when I'm feeling good, my breathing's deeper, it's more from the diaphragm, and you know, you have a different kind of breath as well. So if your posture is linked to how you feel, you know that that's something you can do to change your posture when you're not feeling good. If you're not feeling good, put your shoulders back, you know, head up, even smile. You don't feel like smiling, you know. I think somebody said that when you smile, it does release certain chemicals in your body. So you actually, you know, there's something that's happening when you smile. And just, you know, do that, you know, walk a bit faster, do all those things, because changing your posture is probably one of the quickest ways to, you know, instantaneous to actually just shift that emotion so that you feel a bit better.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Easy to pick up.
Easy to pick up. Yeah. So the other thing is, feeling is the key guidance, like we said. And when there's no resistance, you're not in lack. You know, there's joy. When you think about what you want, there's joy, anticipation, gratitude, you know, and that's when the things flow to you. So the universe does everything behind the scenes, the 99.9% we don't see, that's off our radar screen, to give you what you want. And it's the law. It must happen. There's no way it doesn't happen. It's the law, right? Just like gravity, you know, when Katie says if you walk off a building, you're going down, right? It's the law. It will happen. But what happens in life? Sometimes we have disappointments. Yeah, down.
So-called disappointments.
So-called disappointments. Yeah.
So-called
And, you know, or you're trying to do something and someone says no. You know, or it doesn't go your way, and you feel bad.
It's interesting. I know. Again, it sounds a little bit silly, but you can't make an omelette without cracking eggs. Sometimes something has to change. Something has to collapse to make a new building, or something has to. The amount of times with myself, and I'm sure all of us, with something looks really, really bad, and then 2 days later, or a day later, you go, "Oh, that's why it happened." But it couldn't have happened without
that thing happened,
breaking down.
Yeah. Like I had on my car, I had a chip, you know, like a stone hit the window. But a couple of weeks before that, it was like, I know it sounds really silly, but there was like smudge at the bottom of the windscreen, and I couldn't get it off. I thought, this is really annoying. I really need a new windscreen, but they're about £1,000. I thought, no, I'm not gonna do that. So then I had a chip on the window, and I started laughing. I was like, okay, I'll have a new window. I had a quote. It was £1,000. Long story short, they quoted me £75, and then they said, you haven't got to pay the £75. So I had a brand new windscreen for no reason. And I just started laughing. I started going, see, look,
awesome.
My fiance said, yeah, I knew I'd get one. Couldn't have really. I said, and I was the first person. This is a really funny story. I was the first person to go into Autoglass to get a new windscreen. I said, look, to be honest with you, I said, it's my fault, because I was behind this lorry for about half an hour in autopilot, going 56 miles an hour, stones on a really bad road. It was my fault, really. And the guy looked at me and he went, you are the first person in 5 years of me working here saying it's your fault. Everyone has said it's not their fault. I said, look, hands in the air. I was behind the lorry for a long time and stones were flying everywhere. I should have, you know, you're the first person in 5 years of me working here, he said. So I got a new windscreen now.
Oh my God.
You got a new windscreen for free.
Things
It's loads of things
things
are
work
happening.
out.
It's cool.
Things always work out. I love that story. So, why, like, we all feel bad sometimes, right? We've got to admit that we do. So why do we feel bad when something doesn't go away or someone says something to us and we feel bad? What is it? What is happening really?
Is it a program in us?
Yes.
If it's in that moment we start to thinking about about the how. We believe this is the way, and it turns out maybe that's not the way, and we tend to focus again on the how, and that's where we fall back, and actually we have to let go of it and be like, hey, something better will happen. I don't know about yet. We will see how, but
See how, that's it. Yeah.
It's in the process.
Exactly. And there could be another way. We can't figure it out, but there might be another way that it's going to happen. And the triggers also, like Jamie was saying, that it comes from past programming as well. If you've been let down before or criticized or disappointed before,
trigger off.
You get those neural pathways are triggered.
Yeah, you could use tapping there, no?
Sorry?
The technique.
You could use tapping there, no?
Yeah. Tapping.
That's it.
With I love a quick arm and went.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. Have you done that before? Sorry, Meenal, just to interrupt. To add on that, when I was younger, I was really badly bullied because I was really, really overweight, and I lost a lot because that was my drive. I didn't realize I lost a lot of weight. And now, because I put on a bit of weight, and I sometimes see people here, or I do well in a super tournament, and people call me fat, where I instantly go, and within about 45 seconds to a minute, it's gone. But I have to still, I have to do that. So just to back up what you're saying with that, I have to do that.
The tapping, yeah, that's definitely, and I think Katie mentions that in the CD as well. The Callahan technique is definitely a way to blow out those
negative activated
neural pathways. But people, he gives an example of people that operating at the highest level that don't get triggered, like Thomas Edison. He failed 1,000 times, but he didn't see it as failure. That could have stopped him. He could have tried 10 times and that would have been it. He would have given up. But the reason why he kept going was because he always felt like
successfully. He said
he's one step closer to getting closer to what he's going. So what a lovely, great attitude to have. Just imagine if we did that every time we failed at a business or failed at something.
You see us failing forward,
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is great. I'm getting closer to my success or my dream.
They see failure as part of the journey, like that whole saying that will go on to
so what is really disappointment, and it's what kind of Mario touched upon, is that it's something that does not turn out the way we think it should. It's the way we think it probably, because the way we think it probably should is not the best way it should turn out. It's actually, there's another way, and we don't know, we can't figure that out. So at the highest level, if we want to operate like Thomas Edison at the highest level, if we get disappointed or we get let down, what can we do? What do we say to each other? So we can use the Callahan technique, but what are the things that we could say to each other, to ourselves is, well, I caused this. What vibration did I put out? And what do I need to change what do I need to do to change my vibration? Or you can also say, wow, that means something amazing or even better is going to happen.
Something gooder is going to happen.
Even gooder is going to happen. I can't see what's off the radar screen, so this thing might lead to something even greater. Who knows? So those are the kind of things that you'd want to say to yourself if you're practicing at the highest level. So acknowledge, it's not about ignoring disappointment. Acknowledge it. I'm feeling disappointed, but then check in with your vibration and change it. And if you can't, you need to maybe work on changing your belief and getting that higher. So what can you say to change your belief and start feeling better about it? Well, you can say things like, well, it's okay. It's not on my radar screen. I don't have a time limit. Others who know less than me or less intelligent or feel worthy than me get it. So I know I can do it as well. So it's really kind of thinking that, gosh, you know, I can do this. If it is possible, there is a way, because other people have done it, and not all these people have been super intelligent, or, you know, have got certain extra skills or IQ that I haven't got. So the key is, obviously, you just want to work on feeling better than you were feeling before. You're shifting your emotions. So Callahan technique, or anything on the feel good list that's going to make you feel good, to shift your emotions, including your posture. You know, you can also change that, which is one of the quickest ways. And it's the same with criticism. You know, you feel bad because all neural pathways are being triggered when someone criticizes you. So again, Callahan. Or you can say, I like it when he says, what does he say? He goes, that's the way you think.
Oh yeah, that's okay, but
what you think doesn't affect the way I think.
The way I feel.
The way I feel.
Yeah.
Have you ever said that to someone face to face? No, that's the way you think.
No, I haven't actually.
I say in my mind.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it all the time with.
Go in my head, you know.
I get it all the time with some people locally. With just with the snooker, where if they're jealous, I can see people's energy. I think we all can straight away where they're at mentally or what have you. And somebody say, "What happened to you the other day? What happened to you playing Ronnie a song? What happened? What happened? I lost. Well, how did you lose? I'm like, no, don't. I said, don't worry about it. It's not your life. It's okay. And my fiance next to me is like wanting to kill him, because she knows I've lost a match and I want to win. And she's saying, how can you stay in control when people are like this? I said, well, that's them. I don't need exactly what you just said. That's the way they think. That's the way they feel.
Yeah.
The way they think and feel doesn't affect my life.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you're just in control of your own mind.
And sometimes it's better to just block them off, because
Yes.
it just might put rats
Delete
in your
from
head,
WhatsApp.
and
You got
it's
to be
all
careful.
gonna be, you know, just negative BS, and
You don't want to be around that negative
it's
energy.
And if you listen to the wrong people, I'm afraid you'll get the wrong results at one point.
Yeah.
I found that I was really listening to it a lot with who do you listen to, where everyone has a vibration. And if you spend too much time with the wrong vibrational frequency of a person, you then get that into your aura, into your vibration, which then you then start attracting it. I think this is a guess, but I'm guessing that's a bit more deeper with the higher levels, where if you listen to the wrong people, you pick up their vibration, and then in turn you're blasting at the wrong vibration of what you don't want. So yeah,
because you're taking it on that
yeah.
So simply, just saying it simply, is that when you go from feeling good to bad, it's only because neural pathways or patterns have been activated. That's it. You know. And so like I said, the Callahan technique, yes, that's one of the ways, but you can also focus as well, practice focus. I think this is so key, like it's coming up in a lot of books that I'm reading, how important focus is. So what is focus? You know, most of the time, if you think about it and you review your thoughts by the end of the day, you think, where were my thoughts all day long? Scattered. You know, sometimes there are some days, I must admit, my thoughts are all over the place. They're scattered. I'm not focused.
But you're aware of it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's so important. We all get there. Everyone gets the same. You can't get rid of a negative emotion. You have to deal with it. I think is probably I don't know what the best phrase is, but you can't eliminate negative thoughts.
Yeah, that's it. So you've got to focus. How to practice focus is, first of all, what are you focusing on? You ask yourself, what am I focusing on? And you've got to have, in order to have something to focus on, you've got to have a chief aim. You've got to have something that you want, something that you're moving towards, and you've got to get obsessive about it. Obsessive, think about it long enough and focus on it most of the time.
Bell Nightingale.
Yeah, he's like, he said, the seed, you water it and fertilize it, you water it and fertilize it, you know, and you just keep focusing, and it grows and grows and grows. So he said, not focus on 50 different things. You know, a lot of people, they focus on one thing, then very quickly switch on to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. And so you're never long enough focusing on that one thing. But there is a time, he does ask a question on, you know, when do you stop focusing on something? And you focus on something else instead. Well, when
become fun.
It stops
Yeah,
good.
when it stops when it stops being fun.
Yeah, when you stop feeling
But
good.
also, he did say-
Drudgery.
drudgery, exactly.
Badges.
Or he says, check in with your thoughts as well, because you might actually be thinking of a lack of it, and so you're no longer wanting to do that thing because you're thinking, how is it going to happen? It's not going to happen for me. Or if you can't change it, if you can't change the way you're feeling about something, just move on to something else. That's what you can do. The key is, whatever you're doing, you want to have as much fun as possible. You want to have fun in life. You want to enjoy. Doesn't everyone want to enjoy life? If anyone said, no, I don't want to enjoy life, I think there'll be something seriously wrong with them. Yeah, you want to be a slave, a zombie. So you want to enjoy life, and enjoy everything that you're doing. And how do you stay motivated? How do we stay motivated, guys? What do you do?
If you're focusing on your chief aim and your goal, and you're having fun doing it, then it's easy to stay motivated.
Yeah.
You don't want to be anywhere else, and
you've got this burning desire for it. So
there's something, Meenal, if I can add, is I think it's in the no score audio of Kevin. He's talking about when you have a chief aim, because we think in images, no, like in an image. So he's talking about, if in that image put the no score. I mean, if you're focusing on something when it comes to the business side, that's very interesting, no? Because we think in an image. So he's asking people, what's your main image you're thinking about?
Yeah.
That's
a bit like happy poppy for the money, isn't it?
Yeah.
He mentions that the number one reason why people are not motivated is because they don't have a chief aim, first of all.
That's it. Yeah.
Target.
Good,
Isn't
get
it
one.
amazing? Isn't that amazing?
What they want.
People don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
How simple is that?
Yeah, people just
How
don't
simple is that? And people don't even know what you want. I really don't know.
It's quite
And they're happy.
Yeah, enjoy your life.
It's interesting if you ask any, like, a family member or a friend or someone who's not into this work, but you just ask them the question, what do you want? What do you want in life?
Oh, well,
It's
what can I
crazy
do?
how a lot of people just won't know.
It's crazy.
Or they might think,
sorry,
maybe this or that. Nobody will know clearly what they really want.
it's funny, isn't it, to us? But how simple is that?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like some of my mum's friends, I see her in the coffee shop, and they're saying about this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Oh, what can you do? I said, well, loads. And they go, no, I can't. Oh, sorry. Okay. No, don't teach a pig to swim, because you just end up pissing off the pig. Don't bother. Don't bother. It just falls on deaf ears. So enjoy. I'll see you next week for your next negativity.
Coffee meetup.
They don't even. I don't meet them. Like, if I'm sitting there, I say hello just to be courteous or something. But my God, it's so true, and people just don't know what they want. KT says, I think in level 2 or 3, his uncle used to ask him, what do you want? I really don't know.
I really don't
know. Okay, there we are.
Funny. Oh God, yeah, it's crazy. But,
it releases so much energy. It's amazing.
What was that?
Releases so much energy. Because I in a good way, where, gosh, it's obvious when you think about it.
So we're going to get you to finish off the sentence. True happiness and success is the progressive
realization of a worthwhile dream.
What does he mean by that? Progressive realization of a worthwhile dream.
I believe it's the journey that is the important thing. It's you're be happy in the moment while realize the dream. This is actually which this is all is about, be happy now. And this is the, how do you say,
you only stand on the mountain for 1 minute. That's the journey. That's the journey. The amount of times, and this is every single, so I'm sorry to bring snooker into it, but with my world, like, every single person who wins a snooker tournament a day too late isn't happy, and they don't know why. I know why. You guys probably know, like, but they're like, I thought it'd be like this bliss, and I'm thinking, No, you're a spiritual being. You need to grow. Your whole point is to grow. And when people get there, they think, oh, that's it. But then a lot of people go like that then.
Yeah.
You know, like top professional athletes, they all golf, football, they go, oh, it's not as good as I thought it'd be, or
yeah.
It's a progressive realization.
Definitely, it's a worthwhile dream. Yeah, definitely. And
so the journey is much longer than the destination.
Yeah, that's it. The journey is much more longer than the destination. That's it. It's funny because a client I had way back, she worked so hard to get the Businesswoman of the Year awards at that time. And she worked, got all the documents together and all the evidence around, you know, all the things that she's done to present that so that she could win that award. And she even told me, she goes, she won that award. She was working towards this for months. She won this award and she said, do you know, it wasn't anything that great that I thought it would be, you know, and she just came back down to not feeling enough and wanting to do the next thing, you know, and she was very self-aware. So she acknowledged it, that actually it didn't give me the joy or the feeling that I thought it's going to give when I got there. You know, and so really it is the key, like, you know, Mario was saying, is the key is the present moment, being joyful in the moment of it. Do you mind
if I mention something from level 5 briefly that I listened to the other day, where, and someone said, because the universe is always expanding all the time, that means because where basically the universe, you need to expand. And if you're not expanding, the spiritual in you doesn't like that. It needs to expand. So I think when you're going the progressive realization, I think that's you and your desires, that's you expanding. Does that make sense? So I think because if we are spiritual beings, as he says in level 5, and we're not, and we just stay still. He says very simply in level 1 or 2, you're growing or dying.
Growing or dying, exactly.
And he's probably, you know, millions of miles ahead of us, but he's just put it bog standard for us to go, you're growing or you're dying. So I just thought that really stuck out for me, where people go towards something, the millionaires and the billionaires, and then they want a trillionaire, and then they want you never stop. Well, just take a minute and stop and be happy now, rather than chase the dragon. I think that is a common phrase. So
absolutely.
just wanted to put that.
Yeah, Jamie, that makes total sense. It is expansion when you're going through this
evolution
journey.
That never ends.
And you know, I was listening to a lecture. I don't know if anyone's heard of the Zen millionaire. He's a Japanese guy, and he does loads of stuff. He's very well known in Japan, but he also coaches millionaires and billionaires, and he's very, very kind of established. And he actually retired when he was 29 because he made his millions. And now he just helps people around wealth and happiness. And so what he says is, like, he says people who are, he goes, I've coached billionaires who are extremely unhappy, but they're billionaires. But I've also coached billionaires who are very happy. And just the same with poorer people. I've coached people who've got hardly anything and are unhappy, and people who've got hardly anything and are really happy. So he said, really, it's not the wealth that gives you that happiness. And I know we know this, but it was just a good example. It is actually, he teaches you how to be in the happy now, because that's when things come to you anyway. You know, feeling good now, it all comes back to the feeling good now, and how to be okay with what you've got, but doesn't mean that's it. You know, you don't grow and get.
But when you get there, he says as well, Kevin Trudeau, you just get more anyway.
You get more anyway.
You can not have it, and that's that's the magic. Then I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know.
What's the name of the guy, by the way? It's Ken Honda.
Ken Honda. Yeah.
Oh, you know
that's
him.
it. Yeah, Ken
Ken
Honda.
Yeah.
They kind of
Very
nickname
interesting.
Zen millionaire, but it's using Zen philosophy around wealth. And it's quite interesting, its concepts, but it kind of, some of it like does tie in with what Kate
really needs to look at that Zen stuff. I've seen it once or twice before with certain music on Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. I've watched it twice. It's really good. It's watered down, but it's more of a movie, and some of the music in there makes my whole body shiver in like happiness. And I forced my fiance to watch one episode, and she loved it, and she said, I love this music. I said, yeah, I think they must have designed it into the film for the physiology, maybe. I don't know, but I always feel incredible just listening to, you know, like Indian music, you know, the Far East,
Yeah.
There's certain music that's well, probably in
Hollywood.
India is the same. It's like it makes you feel amazing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, you were talking about music, the power of music, certain high vibrational sound frequencies that are used to induce, goosebumps and shivers down your spine and gives you a good feeling. I mean, there's a lot of power through this. So yeah, this makes total sense.
So how can you fuel your desire? So if you've got a desire for something, how do you fuel it? How do you get it to expand?
Reading books
Every day.
Listening to audios.
Even if it's a page a day. Readers are always leaders.
Put a book in the toilet.
Yeah.
Not in the caboose.
Yeah. Do you know, it really does.
I've had a book in my toilet for 4 years because of that.
It's funny because this morning I was holding my book club and we're talking about Happy Pocket Full of Money. And we were talking through chapters 8, 9 and 10, and I'd taken notes obviously before, and I was really studying it, really getting into it. And then when we did the book club, it was like, it just reminded me, it fueled my desire. It reminded me of, gosh, how powerful we are, and we don't have to think about the how, and keep the end in mind, and embody the feeling, the vibration as if you've already got it, and all those concepts that we already know, but it just
integrates
it just goes deeper and deeper into you, and you just it's such a wonderful feeling. And look, I didn't go out anywhere, we didn't go out partying, we didn't do anything else, we were sitting here doing a book club, doing geeky things, right? But it made us feel such on a high, and it's so this is so key to fueling your desire. And I think because there's so much noise out there and so much naysayers and economy and all the obstacles,
everyone,
we've got to work harder at this to fuel your desire, as in like every day you're going to fuel your desire, so
it happens to me a couple of times a year especially when I'm in tournaments and I come home and then you go thing, and then sometimes I think this is an excuse, but sometimes a day or 2 or 3 days you just go and you're doing what you need to do, or maybe you're going towards your desire, and I just I just don't listen to, maybe I fall asleep too early, then I go to Costa, then and I think when I don't listen to Trudeau or read a book for a day or two, my vibrational frequency dips 100%. Not to the fact where I'm unhappy, but
you can notice it, you can feel it, right?
And I get lower and lower and lower, and then I all of a sudden I go, oh my god, it's been 4 days, but at least we know what to do then. It's just sit down, read a page. So all it can be is a bit, or just put an audio book on, and
an audio or something inspiring. And true, Jamie, we feel the same, isn't it? If we've had just a few days where it's just been busy and we've been doing other things, we notice it. Gosh,
to me, how amazing is that? I'm like, wow, like how incredible is this stuff?
Yes.
And it's not going to talk about anywhere. We've got to literally be our own. I don't want to say boss, that sounds cheesy, but we have got to be our own at guard of our mind, because it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah. So important.
I think there's also Kevin Trudeau mentions a pianist who says, if I skip practice for one day, I will know it. If I skip practice for 2 days, my teacher will know it. And if I skip practice for 3 days, the audience will know it.
That's bang on. Yeah.
Spot on, Mario. I love that. Yes, thanks for that reminder. That was really good. That's spot on. And it is true. It is. You've got to feed your mind, just like you eat every day.
Feed your mind. He says it all the time, doesn't he? And I think what's really powerful is when we experience what he's saying, and obviously putting into our desires and our life what he's saying, it's changed my life. And then you go into the real world where the sheep are, and oh my god, it's literally
where the sheep are.
No, but they're probably not bad people. They just don't know what the hell is going on. We're in this energy field of like thought all around us, and we can't see it. And it's like the biggest thing in the world. It's just, I think in but funny enough, where my toilet is, Mario, I have As a Man Thinketh, and he says one line that sticks out to me where he says, the world is controlled by the unseen. I didn't know what that meant when I first read it a couple of years ago. And now I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Because we can't see thought vibration or frequency. So I was finding it amazing, like how we're all putting into practice and we're all studying, and when a couple of days goes by, you just totally forget the simple stuff, you know. The punch.
Yeah, the punch. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what does he mean by always follow your bliss?
Always follow what makes you the happiest. No?
Yeah. Whatever that is, you know, whether it's MLM, real estate,
whatever it is,
course, you know, to do something, whatever it is,
that's in your
always,
sweet spot.
yeah, that's in your sweet spot. Because he said, I remember him saying, it's not the actual course or the company technique that you've got. It's actually
the personality.
Really?
Personality.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think success is a personality, because all the successful people say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that was their pick 100 things, shut your eyes, pick one, and you make millions. It doesn't matter, as long as you're obsessed and you've got the burning desire and you feel good and you're thinking about it and you're talking about it and you think about it, you get it.
Yeah.
Whereas that could be Meenal, you could want to be a football player. I have no interest. Mario could want to be a businessman in real estate. I have no interest. But then I could want to be, but it's whatever you want, isn't it? It's whatever you want in life.
Yeah. And it's using the technique that KT teaches. So if you use the technique, you can make money in whatever you do, you know.
How amazing is that?
I know.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
cool.
And that's why, you know, when you do these MLM things, network marketing, you find that it's really a small percentage that makes it really successful in it, you know, making the millions. It's a small percentage that make it, because knowingly or unknowingly they're using these techniques. So what if you don't have any idea how to make money, like me? Right? So what if you have no idea? You think, well, I'm not a businesswoman, I don't have much, you know, my financial knowledge isn't that brilliant, and all these things.
You don't need to know.
You don't need to know. That's it.
You don't need to know.
It's such a wonderful thing. It's such a load off my shoulders, because I'm like, I don't know how to make money. So
a homeless person on the street, that means they can make money. That everyone has access to it now.
Meenal, maybe with your job going in April, it could be the start of something amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
sure.
Because I think you've been, I'm going to take a guess, unhappy in the job, and something needs to happen where, quote unquote, disaster, but you don't know what you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Just keep putting your vibrational frequency out of what you want to feel in a job, or if you want to own a business or something, and then boats and planes and helicopters will start coming by your way. And I should have said a boat and a helicopter. I shouldn't have said a plane. I was wrong. But it will come. It will come.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You know.
It will. But don't think of the lack or think bad about it. Just think that you want what you want.
Yeah.
Keep the focus.
Keep the focus on what I want. That's it.
Living in the end in mind.
Go golfing. Go golfing.
Go golfing. Go for a vacation.
You click the page. Go golfing.
So if you don't, so this was a good thing from the what if you don't have no idea of making money. What can you do? What can you say instead? Well, you can say, I want to be financially free without investing a lot of time and money. I quite like that idea. Yeah. Or you can say, I want to be rich, financially independent in some business, something, right? Because you don't know what it is, giving residual income without too much time taken away, so I can do the things I love, like traveling or whatever else it is. So that's a really nice way of thinking.
That's a really good chief aim,
yeah. And I was thinking when I read that, I was like, oh, that feels really good for me. You know, I can work on that one. You know. So, and it's so weird because I've listened to these CDs so many times, and when I was taking the notes for this, I was like, why didn't that stick in my head before? But this time it did. So
new cognition, new player person, new place, new time.
Exactly. So what holds us back from practicing this technique on a consistent, regular basis? There's quite a few things. I think we did touch upon one or two of them.
The negative neural pathways, no? The negative thinking.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, or your past programming.
Looking off the radar screen.
Thinking about the how, that's all the resistance.
That was one of the biggest things that changed my life, the radar screen, because I was sort of writing, say, down on a piece of paper. I'd say draw like a stick man of myself, and then I'd have like everything I want. It would all be on the outside of my vibration. But then when I'd done the technique every single day in lockdown, every day, I knew I put like a little stick just going closer and closer and closer and closer. And then just a miracle happened. But it was, you just got to keep putting it out all the time. And it is about to branch out. And if you say no, it goes back in. I think he says in The Secret as well, doesn't he? Like, you got to keep the vibrational frequency going as long as, not as long, but as much as you can.
As much as you can, that's it.
That would be one of the reasons.
Yeah, definitely. And we also mentioned this, the other block is people don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. So they stop using a technique because they don't know what they want. They don't know what they're using it for even, or what they're working towards. So they haven't clearly defined it. So when he expands on this about clearly defining something, and this was quite interesting because it made me think about things as well. So when you say I want money, that might not be really a clear definition because you don't really know what you want it for. You're just saying I want money, but what are you going to do with it? How are you going to feel? What is it? What will it mean for you in your life? What are you going to do? So we've actually we've started to think much more about that, and actually when you think about that, what am I going to do when I have this money, which is on its way? What am I going to do with it? How am I going to feel? And then when you entertain those thoughts and you really explore that, you start feeling it. You get sparks of, oh my God, as if you've already got it. And it's such a wonderful feeling. You suddenly feel free. And that's one of the feelings I want to feel is free. I want to feel free, like you can choose whether you want to work or not. That's a choice now. It's not a have to.
Have you seen the Deliveroo guy? Did any of you guys see the CEO of A Diary of a CEO? You haven't got it.
You want to watch that?
It's not. It's 10% of what he says is hilarious. His mum was in Yale University. What did you do to pass the time? I was reading 2 books a week. Da, 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 da. I was just laughing. And then he says, "What do you do? What do you do now?" Well, obviously he owns the company. The company's worth 10 billion. And he says, "Oh, I deliver for Deliveroo." They said, "What?" They said, "Oh, sometimes, in London, I just get on my bike and I do a shift."
Oh my
God. And the guy's even going, whoa. Come back a sec. What? They say, "No, I'm in the fresh air. I haven't got to work. There's no people.
You don't have to do
I'm on my bike. I haven't got to work. But that's my time to relax and be happy." I'm like, wow. And when I'm away in tournaments, I come home and I clean the car and I do the laundry and I do the kitchen. Weird as it sounds, I'm in bliss.
Oh,
it's so strange, and I tell people, they don't believe me, but it's the same with him. And he's saying funny stories and about listen to it, it's good. But he said he hasn't got to work, and that then is full enjoyment. I think that's bliss.
Yes, because then you have a choice, isn't it? You choose, today I'll do that, and
my fiance's a manager in a care home locally, and she now is just about enjoying work. When she was doing it for free as a care worker, she was bouncing out of bed in the morning. She couldn't wait to go to was had no bills. She was living with her parents. She couldn't wait to go to work. Now she's a manager, and we've got a mortgage and whatever. It's now she's got to go. And we've had this chat a lot of times because I want to make sure because she has a little bit of interest, but not too much, like myself. So I'm always saying, "Are you happy? Okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm more than fine." Because I understand that when it becomes drudgery, do something you enjoy.
Yeah.
So sorry, just started a footnote there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, do something you enjoy. It's so important, and money can give you that. When you have the money, you can choose what you want to do. So it's just kind of defining a little bit more clearly of what you want, and that's the other block. So what would a clear goal be around money? So that would be something like, you can remember he said you can define your goal 3 ways. Be general, be specific, or focus on a feeling. So if you don't know the specific amount that you want, then you can always look at being general, that I just want residual income, you know, doing something that I'm going to enjoy, or the feeling of I want to feel the sense of freedom.
At the end of the day, you just want to feel content with money, I think.
Yeah, content with money.
At the end of the whole, and he always does this to me, at the end of the whole cycle, you want to feel content that there's money coming in, or you've got money, or it's always, but you can be specific, but the best way is to just have a feeling, because at the end of the day, it all goes down to the emotions. The reason we want money is to be content or excited or to go,
some sort of feeling at the end of
it's all goes down to the feeling. So yeah.
So you know, the Zen millionaire, he also said something about you know, people have a negative relationship around money because of past programming. You know, it could even be just a parent saying, no, you can't have that, or you can't have your piano lessons because we can't afford it.
That was
just
me.
A little just a little statement like that can actually change your programming around money relationship. Or just, you know, somebody just saying no to you, you can't have that, you know, denying access to something, or making it feel like money's it's difficult, it's a struggle. So the Zen millionaire says that one of the important things with money is build a really good relationship with money, have respect for money, you know, treat it like it's somebody that you love, you know, or, you know, somebody else that Kashmeer listens to is like, she says she actually imagines she's having a relationship with money. If you have
who is that person?
Shelley Bullard.
She's on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's not someone would recommend for you to watch, because she's got a lot of feminine energy, right? So
okay.
That's nice though. That's just like a guru sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, she's manifested a million. So basically,
she's manifested the house of her dreams, the car of the dreams.
She's got married really recently. Everything's
she's using the Neville Goddard slip.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Only because it's feminine. It's only because it might not be for you guys.
Her
you know,
statements, her affirmations really resonate with me, because women are receiving. We're in the receiving mode. So she when she talks about money, she doesn't say, I'm attaining it, I'm achieving it, and she's not talking about technique, how's nothing. She's just talking about how great she feels that money is coming to her, money is attracted to me, like money adores
money takes me out on a date.
Money takes me on a date.
Money loves me. Money hugs me. You know, like so literally she's building.
Yeah, I'll leave that one.
You know, but she's making it for her friend. You know, so rather than money's like this thing that you can't have this, you can't have that. It's about, gosh, you know, I love money and money loves me, you know. So it's just building that good relationship with money, because it's such a common thing actually, that
have negative, like,
you know, people have negative relationships towards money, and some people fear money. Could you believe they fear money? Like, I feel like if I get it, it'll be taken away from me, or what do I do? What do I do with it when you know, this guy who won the lottery, he lost it all, and he was working in a biscuit factory before that. When he got back to working in a biscuit factory, he said, I'm the happiest. I feel comfortable now. I'm the happiest I've ever been working.
It's strange. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. It's because it's down to the feeling. Like with me, what I do, he says be careful who you share your goals with, but I'm comfortable to share my goals, where I want to have say another goal is this isn't my goal, but say your goal is £50,000. Okay, where are you gonna get, what are you gonna do when you get it? And go to the bank. Okay, how are you gonna deposit it? And I put it, I'm gonna wait for 3 days, and it makes clear out some spare space in my bedroom because I want to put a new wardrobe there. Then I want to go shopping in London and spend £5,000 on clothes. Then I want to, and he says, what are you doing? You're thinking about what you want, and you're making it real. It's not just £100,000 anymore on a piece of paper. You're making it real.
Yes.
And he's saying, well, where's it going to go? So you're having a new car. Where are you going to park the car? In my garage. Any room in the garage? No. You want to clear that out. But it's not what you're doing. You're just thinking about what you want, where it becomes you. And I'd done that exact technique a year and a half ago, and it just following what he said. I think it was in level 2. Yeah. Okay, you want £100,000. Why? Well, I want to. Why?
Why? There's always a why.
Why? And the whole point of the exercise for what he was doing was with yourself, Meenal, now about money coming in. Well, okay, you want money. What's it going to go on? You're going to have £1,000 for the mortgage or £1,000 for rent, I'll have £500 for council tax, I'll have £50 a week for new clothes, but you've got to know exactly to the decimal point. And you may not get exactly it, but I think his point is it then becomes real, not just a hope.
Focus. Yes, you're focused. Doing that process, you focus on it.
Yeah, that helped me hugely. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but that helped me hugely.
That helps. Yeah, definitely, it does make sense. Yeah. And when you're defining what you want, you should feel amazing about it. You know, not depressed about it. Oh, I can't have it. That's never going to happen to me. So you're supposed to be, that's your sweet spot.
That's the indicator that you're on the right track. You're manifesting it, generating wealth.
Yeah. So general is good and focusing on feeling, but you can be specific about certain things, like a car, for example. You know, if there's particular features that you want in the car, you might want to get a bit specific about that. So the key is,
we can be, do, and have anything and everything we want, regardless of the government, regardless of the economy, the education, the slavery system, the vaccination.
I miss Kashmir.
But the thing to think about it, right, is that the media has such a strong control over us. It's very easy, if we were watching the news all the time, to be caught up in the fear of everything that's going on in the world. And if you're doing that, you're not taking control of your own thoughts. You're actually buying into all of that. And so you're at effect, you're not at cause. So it's so important to take guard of your own mind and control your own thoughts and actually say, what do I choose to think right now? Because I'm the one who's creating my reality, not the mass consciousness, mass thoughts that I can easily get swept. Yeah. And if you go unconscious, it's very easy to get swept away in those unconscious mass, the thoughts that the majority of people are thinking in the world. And it's got a very strong pull, very, very strong pull. And so
that's interesting.
Yes, so awareness is so important, to be aware of your thoughts. Where did this fear come from? Was it made up by myself through my past programming? Am I picking it up from other people? Remember, our brains can pick up thought frequencies from other brains. So, you know, especially now when there's so much noise going on, not just the news, but on YouTube, or like there's so much stuff going on, right? So
it's amazing. I sat down when I went to get my new windscreen. I sat down, I thought, I'll go on my laptop, I'll do my tax return. I haven't done that for 3 or 4 months. I just don't know what I've spent, what I'm doing. I'll have beautiful, the car's going to be an hour. You know, like he says something somewhere where beautiful, I'll read. I'll always read, but I was doing my laptop. I sat there and they've got the news on. Oh my God. I watched the news funny enough, when I was watching the news, I thought, I can't wait to tell everyone this. It's not important. I was just like, really? Is this what people are watching? And literally getting programmed. But Boris Johnson apparently had a party. They want people to talk about Boris Johnson having a party. I'm like, really? I think we're so far in now. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Come on, please. Don't be so stupid. Like, and even just posters on the wall or billboards, or it's the same. In a magic of believing, Hitler used the same billboards, sign-ins, things of the press, cartoon characters, and now I'm starting to see I'm starting to see in children's books now where about getting a jab, and I'm like, they're going for the kids, they're going for the kids. I'm like, oh my God, it is exactly the same techniques that Hitler used. And if you said that to someone, they'd laugh at you.
They'd laugh at you, yeah. But
I said it once to my mum and her friend, and they laughed. I said, okay, don't bother. And it's in not everyone, but it's in like say cartoons, and you can have a look for yourselves. It's like, oh God, is that the same?
That's it. And you know, Katie says hypnosis and suggestion is going on all the time. Hypnosis and suggestion is just becoming much more obvious and more apparent now, because you're seeing people's behaviors change and what they're doing. But it's always been going on. And it goes on through everything from books to cartoons to media to posters to even sound. Hitler used 9 kilohertz sound frequency to control everyone. So it's
Say it again, Meenal, sorry.
9 kilohertz sound frequency to control everyone, Hitler.
Wow.
So certain, I think, was it the sirens or certain sounds that he used?
Towers with the speakers. Broadcasting.
And they're always broadcasting. So, and actually it's happening now in some countries. They've got broadcasting sounds on the streets. I can't remember which country it was. where they're actually, not Austria, it was somewhere else. I saw a video on, they actually showed the speakers on the street saying social distance, protect yourself.
It's unbelievable.
Hypnosis, suggestion, it's going on.
Do you know me now, right? And everyone, I think we can all agree, I just see it now as you are literally brainwashing people.
Yeah.
If they said you got to come on and put a bloody corn on your head like that, everyone would.
Do it.
They can make this is it. They can make people do this.
They got the whole world wearing masks. Like, how did they do that?
So remember, this is the key thing, is that first of all, take 100 responsibility, the 10-second miracle, right? Because you are at cause, and we are creators. We are the creators. We don't have to allow somebody else to put thoughts in us and then create the reality that we want. We can choose to create what we want by the thoughts that we choose, by deciding what we want to focus on. And that's key. And we have that choice. No matter what's going on in the world, we have that choice. So just remind ourselves this, because it's so important, especially with everything else going on.
He says on CD 6 or 7, where the concept that the brain emits frequencies throughout history is exactly what they want to avoid.
Yes.
Where they think you got to, I don't know why I'm holding this, but everything is here. Everything is here all the time, but actually it's there. It's there. It's the 6-inch brain. And the more I'm personally studying it, the more I'm getting more emotional, a bit deeper, and looking at going, wow, how stupid have we been? You know, but we haven't been stupid. We've just been put into this society.
We've just been put into this.
Do you know, even when somebody has an OBE and they have to go like this and bow to the Queen, why are you bowing to the Queen? Why are you bowing to these? Like it's all about, and they have those long stairs in the America. You got to walk up the stairs, isn't it? Wow, like I can see it all now. Not see it all, but we can see a lot more than we did, you know.
Definitely. So just coming up to the end of CD 11 is just a summary. Is, you know, he talks about how to handle a bad event, disappointment or criticism, and what we can do about it, and how to stay motivated, and what blocks us from using this technique. And it's important to be aware of what blocks us from using this technique, because if you have awareness, you can change it, you can get back on track. Because sometimes it can be an unconscious thing. You just stop doing the technique and then a month later think, oh, I've not been doing it, you know. But if you're aware, you'll be aware, like after a few days, that, oh, actually I haven't been engaging in this work. And reminding myself that I am the creator of my own life, and I can focus my attention and my thoughts on what I want. So CD 12, which we're going to talk about in the next session, is just really a reminder that your wish is your command. We have Aladdin's lamp and a really good book list, which I'm thinking we've probably all read the books, but a book list that can change your life, because it changed my life for sure. And it's not what you want, but who you become.
That's most important.
And that's the most important thing. So that's it. That's the end of CD 11.
Go on, Kashmeer.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for participating in CD 11. We will be discussing CD 12 in the next group session soon. And may you never
be the same
again.
Be more enthusiasm, Kashmeer. Come on. What was that?
I think I said it wrong. See you, everyone. Bye for now.
See you.
Bye.